can't compete with my cubinistic wisdom. Watch me solve my cube, enhance it with some lube. Do a video or two, make a Rubik's Cube rap. Don't you wish you were this cool? Watch me solve my cube, enhance it with some lube. Do a video or two, make a Rubik's Cube rap. Don't you wish you were this cool? Yeah. Okay. Y'all know who it is.
Hi, and welcome to LubeTheCube.com's next edition of Cube Review. I hope you guys have enjoyed the latest couple of videos we've put out. And today we're going to keep it up. We're going to bring you the Type F2. And this is a popular cube. A lot of people have requested
good reason.
A lot of people requested this. Anyways, talk about the initial reaction that you had when I brought that in.
Well, I was pretty excited, you know, when you told me you were getting this, just because I'm a fan of the F, the blue Type F. And when you brought it in, I was immediately pleased. It really is a great cube right out of the box. As far as, you know, size, I would say it's pretty much spot on. It does have the classic F beveled edges. So as far as CubeSmith stickers, they might chip easier with your fingernail just because you don't have as much surface area as the other ones. It is great. It is a very, very good cube. If you have one too, remark and comment because we're making this assessment off of one. So
but we do think that I think it's probably safe to say that they're probably uniform from cube to cube to cube, especially
colors of cubes.
When you're getting them directly from Shein, as the box would indicate. So if you're going to buy one of these, I would definitely look for one in the box or buy it from Cube for You. It does have a new edge design, and we will show you that. I think that gives it a little bit of strength as far as being able to be adjusted to many different tensions, you know, to your preference. I think that certainly gives it that capability. It's pre-lubed, so you don't have to. It's really nothing.
It's cube lube. I can tell already. As far as the lube that they use, it's a cube lube. And again, I think it responds best to this type of plastic. My biggest difference is going to be that they allow you. The new design allows you to have this looser without popping.
Absolutely, and with the identifying box, it's going to be helpful for you to find the actual F2 and not buy a clone, which not all the clones, you know, are bad by any stretch of the imagination. But it's nice to know, you know, when I'm ordering an F2, that I'm going to get what Rocky JB reviewed, or you know what you've seen in other videos. So that's a good thing about that. Probably. If there is a weakness from the F2, I think that you give up just a little bit in forgiveness. It seems like it's a little bit more likely to lock up, and that may be something that can be affected with tension to some degree. And we haven't really broke this in yet or done any modification to it because, let's face it, we really haven't had to.
Yeah.
I will say one thing, one small modification that I've had to do to this point is I had to replace the core, and we'll show you that in the next part of the video. But it's really a small core, and I dropped it from about a height of 3 foot in my bathroom. Don't ask, but it basically fell out and it broke. And I've had a Cube for You cube do that to me before, but to be fair, the Cube for You was dropped from like 6 or 7 foot. So
as far as stickers, this comes pre-stickered.
Yeah, and they're not, you know, they're not the greatest stickers in the world. I can see you definitely wanting to replace those.
We haven't really used this that much at all, and the stickers are already starting to peel. So you definitely want to get some replacement stickers for that, and for the fact that a big problem with many pre-stickered cubes is the contrast between a red and an orange. It's too similar. They're both muted colors. Which, if you don't have bright light, you're going to have a hard time, you know, getting good solves without, you know, messing them up.
But if it's like my first Speedcube, I think it's good because you're not going to be doing a lot of finger tricking probably as you're just learning. So it's probably a great for you as if you just don't have a Speedcube yet and you're willing to buy one. I think this is probably a good my first cube. No doubt about it, because you're not going to have all the experience and knowledge of having to build these and you know, adjust them and lube them and all the things that kind of go along with it, because it's literally a great out of the box product, which is probably my overall impression of the Cube. Great out of the box. Some improvements over the first generation.
Overall, you know, my favorite, you've heard me say many times, is just a Cube for You brand, you know, Cube. And it's not, this is good, you know, I do like it and recommend it. It's not enough to make me switch yet from my Cube for You, even though this binds less than a Cube for You. It's still not enough to make me switch from my favorite Cube, but it is a very good Cube.
Yeah, and I think that for me, I really like the F2, but right now I'm kind of having a love affair with my Ghost Hand. So
it's pretty money. Ghost Hand is money.
So you know, and I like the F series, so I could literally pick that up, type F1 up, especially the blues that we've showed you, or the Ghost Hand, and be happy with all of those as my primary speed cube. So let's open these up and show.
Take a look.
It's golden. All right, so one thing that we talked about showing you guys was the similarity, and one thing we were anxious about is to look at the edge pieces of the tie-in or Big Goose cube that we reviewed as compared to the F2. You can see that there is a good deal of similarity. You know, we talked about how that tie-in was indeed more beveled than the F, but I really like this design of edge piece. So far, I've been really happy with the cubes that have had it. Just to give you an idea of how this compares to an F1, you can see that it's really just a big slice off there. And there's also something really interesting that you might look at and see. I think this may have something to do with the speed and a little bit more forgiveness. It almost seems like they've made what amounts to a surface area reducing component to some extent with this cutout.
And less apt to popping.
Mm-hmm. So
I think that's why you can adjust the tension on this more, is that good lip on there.
So just to kind of give you this is a Cube for You cube, just so you can look and see
corner and an edge,
some of the differences. This is what I was talking about as far as the core is concerned. This is the core that comes with the F2. Which I like, and I guess it gives you some benefit to have a smaller diameter core. But this is how it compares to a Cube for You core.
Much smaller, slimmer.
This is a Type A core, original Type A core. So these are maybe a little bit more sturdy, but I did like the way that it felt with this core. So just be careful with yours, I guess, is otherwise you're going to end up with something like this, which is not fun. So
again, this cube is better not modified, I think.
Yeah, I think that, you know, this isn't going to be a long segment because you know, there's not really a lot that we can show you. I think that you just F2 just you know, go with it the way it comes. You might want to use Jigaloo later, or you know, you might lube it later, but I really don't think that it needs it. I think really all you got to do with this cube is maybe replace the stickers, get it adjusted to the way that you like it, and okay, so we want to do a really quick scorecard here for you. But before we get into that, I'm kind of interested to know who this nice-looking Asian gentleman is on the box here. So if any of you guys know or can read the box, or if you just have one, let us know. Just because I want to know if he's like the company leader, or you know, some Speedcuber from China, or what. Just curiosity. And also, I'm going to put the English translation of the text in the description. I'm sure you guys will get a kick out of that. But right now, let's do the scorecard. From the F1, I'm going to compare a little bit of that to this F2 cube. And first of all, the speed. That's going to be a slight increase from the F1. I've moved it up to an 8. Cutting ability is down slightly to an 8.
And forgiveness, we did drop it 20% from the F1 to a 7 because it just feels like that this cube is going to have a little bit higher instance of jamming or lockups. 7's still a really good score, but lower, I think, than some of the better type F1s that we had. Structural integrity down a little bit to 4 just because of the smaller core, a little bit fragile there. Consistency, we've increased substantially over the F1 to an 8 just because with the identifying box you're going to be able to recognize the cube, know that you have the actual type F2, and from every indication, I think that they're very uniform from cube to cube to cube. Hopefully your comments will agree with that. As far as adaptability is concerned, just a neutral 5, same as the F1, because again, there isn't a whole lot of modification necessary for this cube. I'm sure it probably mods well, and you guys will tell us all about mods that you can do with it, or hybrids you can make with it, I should say, is a better way to put that. But, 5 is probably a neutral rating there. So that pretty much covers it, and happy cubing, and we'll come to you in another video.